So welcome to Parliament Buildings. It's my pleasure to host an inch-foot band here on this beautiful evening on the exceptional occasion of celebrating their centenary as their local South County MLA. I grew up in Mourne, Ulster Scots Heartland, and I grew up in the band family. Learning chapter 8 and on the road at 11, I have lived and breathed the band family and culture all of my life. And with that, I know the challenges of keeping bands going through the difficult times. Numbers go up and down, often a struggle to get out. The commitment needed to teach instruments and the cost of instruments, uniforms and minarets. But it's through dedication and commitment that Inch-Foot Band has stood strong for 100 years. And I congratulate all of you for that. And you've certainly celebrated in style. I was pleased to attend your parade in Calais, so well supported. It was a really great night. And your recent trip to France was an amazing tribute, and I credit to yourselves and all who went before you. And I'm delighted to welcome you here tonight. In South Down, I represent a minority community. And our people have lived through tough times, yet we have stood strong and celebrated our traditions and culture throughout. Inch-Foot Band are an inspiration to many others. 100 years of tradition, music, culture, and many memories made, passed from generation to generation, and you should be very proud. Councillor Johnny Jackson has been an amazing addition to our DPP team locally in the past year, and when he mentioned to me his family connection to Inch-Foot Band, we wanted to make sure that this moment was marked respectfully and in style. Our culture has a place in Stormont, and having Inch here in this great hall tonight, playing live and playing proud in huge numbers, is a memory that I'm pleased to get to share with all of you. So thanks to Johnny for helping coordinate this evening as I hand over it to him, and I say congratulations again, wishing you every success for the next 100 years. Thank you.
I just want to say tonight it wouldn't actually be possible without the Alan's sponsorship of the event. So could we just give the Alan a round of applause there? I just want to echo Alan's congratulations to Inch-Foot Band. It's obviously an amazing achievement to be celebrating 100 years. And again, anybody who's in the band scene knows how hard it is to keep bands on the road and membership is up and down. So it's just fantastic to see the band being going so strong at the moment, and obviously celebrating this 100th anniversary. It's really amazing experience. So I just want to say congratulations personally to the band here tonight. I know they're all nice out here, ready to go, so I'm not going to take them back any further. So our first piece tonight is Inch-Foot Band. I'm going to let them do this right now. know it's really one of them. Thank you very much to Donna. Very, very well played to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a very distinguished guest in our presence. We have the chair of the Scots Agency, Ian Hoosier. So we're very privileged to have him along tonight to speak. I just want to ask Ian a bit on this, please.
Thanks very much indeed, Joey. Don't know about the very special guest part, but it's certainly a pleasure and a privilege to be invited to come along this evening to join with you on such a special occasion here at Forsythe Buildings. I was surprised and delighted to get the invitation, so it is really fantastic to be able to come along and to share this very special occasion with you. And can I say as well, before I kind of start, it is brilliant to see elected representatives proactively get involved in supporting the marching band community and supporting Ulster Scots. Because it's not something sadly that you see kind of uniformly across the country. And it's brilliant to see it. It's brilliant to see the strong measure support that there is in South Dick for the Ulster Scots community. We live in a changing world. And the years we've just come through, we don't need me to tell you that all sorts of things come and go. Charities pop up, community groups pop up. They're there for a few years, and they're away again, there's going to be no fun with them, or whatever. So there are very few things within our communities that stand the test of time, and even fewer things that last for 100 years or more. It's an interesting thing that if you think about the kind of things in your community that would last for 100 years or more, you'd be thinking about churches, you'd be thinking about orange halls, you'd be thinking about maybe a small number of sports clubs, and you'd be thinking about bonds. And isn't it an interesting thing that all of those things that last the longest within our communities are things that are effectively cultural? Things that are about our identity, things that are about who we are. Those are the things that keep us connected to each other, keep our communities connected, keep us grounded when everything else is going on. And even in the 3 years of COVID, you saw how marching bands and orange halls and community groups and organisations like that were at the heart of keeping communities together and trying to keep folks connected. And very interesting as well that the bulk of those things are actually not driven by money, they're driven by volunteers. That shows you how much these things are valued by the community, because people will come out and work day in and day out to support their hall or their band or their church, much more so than anything else. You know, family first, but very often then culture and community and identity are very close second to that. And of course, you will know yourselves, very often the cultural piece is also a family piece, because the marching, a band very often will be full of people from 2 or 3 or 4 families, mainly, and it goes down from generation to generation. So, it is very much a measure of how these things are supported and thought of and valued within communities, that they can last for the length of time that each flute band has lasted for. But I want to congratulate you for that, for all the work that has gone in, and not just in this generation, but in the generations before. Because in a 100-year period, there's plenty of grey hair in this room, but there's also plenty of young folks. And a 100-year span is going to be what, 3, 4, maybe some families maybe in the 5th generation now of people who have been committed to the band from the get-go. That's a fantastic monument and testament to the people in the local community that you guys come from. And as I mentioned there, the last 3 years, the the hardest time in living memory to sustain anything significant within your community. Probably the last time there was a challenge like this was during the Second World War, which obviously no one wants to remember. So massive, massive period of uncertainty and difficulty for folks. It certainly was a high point with the Ulster Scots Agency 12 years now. It was a high point of my 12 years in the agency, that at the time whenever the Ulster Scots community and the marching band community as part of it actually needed us the most, it was the time when we were able to provide the greatest level of support. Because as a result of money, it was able to be sent across by the UK government to support culture and identity in that time of COVID. We were able to put the biggest single injection of cash into our community that we've been ever able to. £2.7 million of additional money that went in to support Ulster Scots communities all over Northern Ireland. Over 250 marching bands, and I'm delighted obviously that Edge Flute Band was one of the 250 that was able to get support to be helped through the pandemic. And obviously once we got through the pandemic, we wanted to make sure that groups were able to get back up and running and kind of encourage people to get back out and about. We put in place a small event grant, and the small event grant, again, one of the biggest interventions that we have put in the last 18 months or so. Nearly 300 small events all over the town supported, and a lot of that also coincided obviously with the creation of the Platinum Jubilee and with the coronation as well, which were both hugely important events for our community. And again, I'm delighted that Edge Flute Band was able to get support through the small event. So what you guys are doing, both in musical terms and in community terms, is hugely important for Ulster Scots. Marching bands are a key element of the Ulster Scots community. Now, I don't want to be controversial here. I don't want anybody throwing a drum at me. But one thing that I would kind of flag up to you as well is, it's not the only part of your cultural identity either. It's massively significant. It's massively significant for you, but you also have a much broader cultural identity, which is part of Ulster Scots, which is all about the local heritage. It's about the language, particularly in areas like South Down. It's about faith as well. So there's a broader thing. Quite often people like to try and force us into wee boxes where that's about these are about marching and stuff. Well, actually we have a big, way deep Ulster Scots cultural identity. And marching bands are a vital part of it, but it is also much wider. And it's actually a recognition of the breadth of the cultural identity that we have. The last year follows on from some of the recent kind of political talks, that the UK government actually recognised the Ulster Scots community as a national minority within the United Kingdom. Now, you might think, oh, that sounds terribly dry, but actually, see in the years to come, when the level of money that we had during COVID isn't here, and budgets are tightening right now. We're in a situation where we've got unprecedented demand for support coming from the marching band community, but the budget hasn't kept pace with that. So see in times whenever there's more competition for resource, then this national minority recognition that we've now got will become very important. Because there's a phrase that's tied into that. It's a phrase that I want you to remember. The Ulster Scots community is now entitled to what's called full and effective equality in all things to do with culture because of that national minority recognition. That's a phrase that I want you to learn and bear in mind for future conversations with funding organisations, with your local council, and with all sorts of people. Because at the moment there's a shortening of resources, making sure that people get their fair share is a really important thing. And making sure that people know how to get their fair share is also a really important thing. Now, I have some sense of, the headspace that you're in just now in terms of the scenery that you're on. Because my own Orange Hall in Belfast is coming into our centenary year. So in June of next year, we'll be 100 years old. And we're now in the space of thinking and planning for how we're going to mark that, how we're going to celebrate it. The one thing that we're thinking about as well is the fact that a centenary isn't only a time about looking back at the 100 years that have gone before, it's also a time about looking forward. And we also said that at the time of the Northern Ireland centenary in 2021. It's not just about the last 100 years, it's about the next 100 years. And it's great to see that Inchflute Band has reached its centenary, not kind of scrabbling by the fingernails to reach the centenary, but to come into the centenary strong, and the kind of the level of strength that you're displaying here, and the music and excellence that's being displayed here at Stormont tonight as well. And I can commit on behalf of the Ulster Scots Agency that as you move forward into your second century and move forward as strong as you can, that we'll be there to support you as best as we can as well. Thanks very much.
Can I just personally thank also on behalf of all of us here, Diane, very much for taking the time to come around tonight. And it's great to hear Ian as he outlines the Ulster Scots importance in our community, and the sense of strength we get from it, and the importance, and just about networking through different cultural aspects of our community and how important that is. And I know certainly in our area and South area that is strengthening, and just by working together, it'd be good to keep that going. So it's good to hear that from you. Thank you very much. Right, our next artist is, there's a bit of a backstory to this because we did have a singer for tonight, but unfortunately she took on well. So we had to, at the last minute, get something organised. So there was a late call went out last night to our local pipe band, close by, Hollywood Pipe Band, and I just sort of sent a message, this was happening tomorrow night. What can you do for us? So I was very pleased to say the message came back that someone was coming to the event anyway, and she'd be more than happy to play for us. So fantastic. So tonight, special guest artist Katie McGaw. Katie's brother Aaron plays in Inchflute Band. So I'm going to ask Katie now to come and play for us tonight. So thank you very much, Katie. asked Rob Bellamy from his flute band is going to come and give us a wee bit of history about the band and bring the fast and the so please help me.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I'd like to have a big thank you for your continuous constant support for our band. And also like to send get us a message to all people who have been called this evening and really appreciate the same first and I feel like we can attend and short with us. Probably about 4 or 6 weeks ago, I got a phone call from Diane to say Diane was also set a reception in Stormont. And I said, that's nice, like a good idea. Your people contact my people to get it sorted out. Put the phone down and then panic. And panic stopped literally about 5 seconds ago. Probably going to get worse as we go on. So we're all gathered here tonight to acknowledge the magnificent achievement of the band reaching its centenary. Our current band was formed in 1923. However, you may be surprised to learn that our musical connections go back much further than that. In fact, we go back 225 years from Christmas to the late 1700s. I'm going to quote some excerpts from an album wrote by Councillor Callum Bosley with his permission. Entitled The History of Loyalism in Inch. Inch has a rich history of loyalist bands spanning centuries. Inch Flute Band can be traced back to the late 19th century when it was called Inch Conservative Flute Band, but its origins go back as far as the Inch Yeomanry. Inch Yeomanry, or Inch Infantry as they like to be called, was formed in response to the United Irishmen and the 1798 Irish Rebellion. Lieutenant Colonel John Murray Maxwell, Philip Rowe, was able to garner the support of the loyalists of Downpatrick to form Inch Yeomanry, and he led the Inch Yeomanry as he fought at the Battle of Ballyinch in 1798. One of the members of our lodge in Inch was killed. Anglicanism, and in particular Orangism, were influential factors for inscription into the yeomanry at that time, and no more so than an Inch. Hence, Inch Yeomanry was highly successful thanks to 2 local organisations, Inch Parish Church and Inch Orange Lodge. The Inch Lodge, or the Grey Sign, some of the grey people in the room probably remember it, was formed in 1797, only 2 years after the creation of the Orange Order itself in 1795. This makes our lodge at Inch one of the oldest lodges in County Down. And out of 169 original signatories of the Inch Yeomanry, most are believed to have been Orangemen from the parish of Inch. Given the close link between the Yeomanry and the Orange Order, the Yeomanry heavily influenced the Order's formative years. As the Irish Yeomanry were still part of the British military Yeomanry Corps, they came complete with uniforms and marching bands. Therefore, loyalist demonstrations or orange parades were often headed by yeomanry bands. By the time the yeomanry fizzled out, marching bands was an established tradition, and Inch is an excellent example of how the yeomanry referred to loyalist bands. Former yeoman drummers continued to lead parades, and these drummers continued to mimic the militaristic and musical nature of the yeomanry, in turn giving birth to a loyalist band culture that continues today. Inch was one of the last yeomanry outfits to fizzle out. They were still active in 1830. At an Orange procession in February 1830, Inch Orange Lodge, headed by Inch Yeomanry sergeants with the permanent drummers, all in full yeomanry costume and armed with His Majesty's arms, did not return direct to their homes, but thought fit to take a circuitous route of fully 3 miles about in order to parade through the streets of Downpatrick with music and orange colours. After 1830, bands continued to accompany local Orange lodges. The Tyson, or Ballygally, and Ballyrennan lodges, both beside Inch, had accompanying bands in the 1860s. Following the repeal of the Party Processions Act ban, arranged in 1850 to 1872, the formation of loyalist bands accelerated massively across the province. Inch saw the formation of the Inch Conservative Flute Band and the Maxwell Conservative Flute Band, both in 1883. The latter was named after the Maxwell family and was based at the Paxton Orange Hall in the townland of Ballygally, which was owned by the Maxwells. It was often referred to as the Paxton Flute Band, in the same way that Inch Band was often referred to as the Craig Flute Band because it was in the townland of Ballygally, which was also owned by the Maxwells. It was also later referred to as the Craig Flute and Drum Band and the Craig Flute, 'Flute, 'Pipe' Band. 'Flute' 'Pipe' 'Band. 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 'Fl Maxwell Conservative or Maxwell Union's flute band fell away, and the Inch flute band, the current Inch flute band, was formed on the Wednesday, the 1st of August 1923. While tonight we are celebrating our centenary, we are also celebrating 225 years since marching bands was initiated in Inch by the Inch Yeomanry. It's a reminder that watching band parades is more than just listening to music. It's remembering the sacrifices of those Ulstermen who stood up to the 19th rebellion and who marched to these Yeomanry bands, sometimes to their deaths. Ultimately, when we attend a band parade, we keep our hard-earned culture alive. That was written by Cal prior to our anniversary parade on Friday, 6th of June in Diane. We've mentioned that our current band was formed in 1923. At an Orange College meeting on Wednesday, the 1st of August that year, Brother Alex proposed Brother Willie Hughes seconded that the Inch Lodge start its own band. This was agreed, and a committee of 7 members were elected to run the band. This consisted of Brother Phillips, the secretary, Brother Willie the treasurer, John Dennis, Willie Hughes, Diane, Alex and Herbie Hughes. A lot of those names are still familiar with the parish of Inch, and indeed still familiar with our band. Brother Alex became the bandmaster, and although he played bass drum, he was instrumental in teaching the new band members how to play the flute. We are currently pleased to have Alex's grandson Trevor, who's a wave driver, and his much better looking granddaughter Hannah beside him. They've been great with us this year, and it was nice to see Hannah actually carry the flag at our anniversary in Killarney. She joined us from her band in Bangalore. Another family very much at the heart of the band is my own family, the Lennon family. My grandfather Henry was a founding member, and lucky for us he produced lots of band members by having a very large family. If you were born a Lennon, then you were born into the band. There was no choice. When you could walk, you could triangle. Once you broke that a couple of times, you had a pair of cymbals, and then ultimately you were given a flute. You had absolutely no chance of getting it. In those days, there were 4 drummers, and 3 of them were Lennons, so the turnaround was, you can imagine, pretty slow. We're proud of the fact that in 100 years of marching, there have always been Lennons in the band, and we now have 5th generation members of the family marching with us, through Aaron and Hannah. Although I have to admit that we did have to marry in the Hamilton family in order to keep the lineage going, and hopefully with the addition of James and Emily, our brothers tonight, James and Shirt, already both practicing, we'll soon be adding a 3rd generation of the Hamilton family to the ranks as well. Although the original committee was elected to run the band, it was ultimately answerable to the lodge. And as Inch was an Orange band, today our current band is organised along the same lines, in that we have a committee to oversee the day-to-day running of the band, but we are still an Orange band at heart, and we continue to uphold and respect the values and traditions of the Orange institution and promote our Orange culture and heritage in every possible opportunity. During the latter part of 1923, the Lodge organised a fundraising dance and lifted a collection from its members, and this produced enough money to buy instruments to get things moving. After a few months of practicing, they had their first outing in June 1924 when they attended the annual Inch Parish Church picnic, and later that year in July 12th in Ballygowan. In those days, the band of the Lodge would travel to the 12th by train from Kingsbridge Hall, or if the venue was closer to home, they often marched to it. They would have thought nothing of marching 2 miles from Blackstone while they met up with the rest of the Catholic lodges and then continued on foot as a district of Killarney. How times have changed. Although the band was responsible for its own fundraising, the lodge did help out financially from time to time when possible, and the band was paid a princely sum of £1 for its services on the 12th of July, November 1925, and then in 1931 they received a amount of £3 and 5 shillings towards the cost of drums. Parades at that time would have all been Orange parades, and nowhere near as many as there are nowadays. But there are records of the band attending a battle running for Killarney on 12:15 on the 21st of June 1931, and again the following year when the Inch Lodge unfurled its banner at Tormere Cross Car in 1932. The band's uniform at the time was like most other bands of that period. Their best Sunday suit and a cloth hat. For any of you who follow the band, you'll notice the cloth caps made a comeback in the 11th of July and appeal this year. The cloth caps were later changed to a proper black flat hat with a whitewashable cover that could be removed and washed. The early 70s saw the addition of black jackets and dicky coats to to give the band its first proper uniform. Our further change in 1986 saw us change our colours to maroon and blue when we had a nice new smart water uniform dedicated on the 6th of May. We believe we get a value of money in this, so we made this uniform stretch to 2008. Well, on the 19th of June, we made a change in colour and went back to black jackets and introduced the red hats. A uniform is one of the most expensive pieces of kit the band has, and all bands purchase their uniforms through fundraising, as you don't get any help from government agencies. When we purchased these split tunics, back in the day, they cost £450 each, so today the change them would probably cost us in excess of £20,000. Our last change was 6 years ago. We introduced the red shirts for a fresher look, plus they were a heck of a lot cheaper. As well as uniforms and other huge expensive instruments, and thanks to receiving some financial support, we were able to dedicate new instruments on our hall in June 2019. We believe that we should be proud of our history, and we try to link the past to the present where possible. So we carry an image of our 1923 band and the badge of the ancient infantry on our base strong corner. We have both strong band and Lloyd's links to the 13th Royal Irish Rifles, so we also display their badge. Likewise, the Lloyd's carries an image of the ancient infantry on our Lloyd's banner. By the late 1970s, weekend band competitions have become a regular thing, and the band would travel around the local area, attending outdoor competitions most weekends. Sadly, a lot of local bands from Southdown have ceased to function, so the band now finds itself travelling further afield to places like Banbridge, Kilkeel, and other parts of County Down, like Dromore, Kilkeel, and Dromore, Kilkeel, and Dromore. We also take our pride in place in 12 demonstration in Renfrew, Scotland, with the tertiary training developed at Boyne back in 1990. Today we attend almost 40 parades this year. These are mostly marching band competitions, but we also continue to lead HNRL 430 and Orange parades to include our annual Orange service in East Parish Church every June. We also have the pleasure of leading our newest Bellshill 32 at the 12 demonstrations, accompanying Bellshill Apprentice Boys Whistleburn Club to the annual release celebration of Londonderry, Killeen, and Ballygally RBPs 554 and 50 to the annual County Down Black demonstration. We Collins Temperance LOL 763 on the 1st of July, and the Sugar Troop is LOL 1607 at the 12th of September. In these last 2 years, we've been lucky enough to be asked to be Rapper Guides or RBP 1139 at the Royal 13th of Stormont. So you can see we've been very busy calendar. In recent years, during COVID, the members turned to online meetings and practice to keep an interest. They raised money for PPE, money for local food banks. We organised Christmas hampers for the recently bereaved of the local community. We continue to celebrate our culture and traditions by organising both the 12th Club and outdoor services of worship. And in September 2021, we organised our biggest event to date, the Normal Centennial Day celebration, which was extremely successful. In recent years, band members have travelled to the Somme, where we have extensively toured the battlefields of France and Belgium, paying our respects to the fallen. We have held services at the Ulster Tower and have had the honour of taking part in the active remembrance of men engaged in Belgium on no less than 4 separate occasions. During these trips, we visit as many of the soldiers from our parish as possible to pay our respects. We are just home from a trip, as you heard Diane mention earlier. Our latest trip was only a few weeks ago. This, however, was a very special trip. Memory will follow soldiers. This flag has the names of 14 men from the parish who gave their lives in both World Wars. One of them was the Second World War in 1943. The other 13 died in the First World War. Of the 14 men, 7 were known brave. This is our way of again linking the past to the present and keeping the memory of these men alive. The flag was carried to the Black demonstration in the war, so you could say we brought these soldiers home from the Somme. The trip was also special for other reasons. For the first time, our band member Harry and his father Brian were able to visit their forefathers memorial and pay respects to him at Tynecross Cemetery in Pleasant. We also had a lovely lady called Lorraine with us. We arranged for Lorraine to visit the graves of young one, but two members of our family whose names were on the flag. We carried out a small act of remembrance at each graveside. These two brothers, James and Francis, died in 1917, just 2 months apart, and it was Lorraine's first visit, and a very emotional one. We also arranged for Lorraine to lay everything at the men gate in her memory, and she was asked to read the exhortation on the evening of the service. And I think Lorraine is going to come up and say a few words.
Well, first of all, I'm not very much of a public speaker, but I would like to thank Robert and the Inch for making my dream come true. My grandfather, Thomas McNally, was in the First World War. He came home, that's why I am here, and unfortunately his cousins Francis and James, they didn't. And it was always a dream of mine, which I never thought that would ever happen, to go and visit their graves. And thanks to Robert and the Inch, it happened. And I am so humbled, very honoured, and very privileged. And I thank the men and women from the First and Second World War for giving us all, and myself, our freedom. And only when you walk at the Storm and you see what they went through, do you really realise how horrible it was. But that's what they had to do to give us our freedom. So I thank Robert and the Inch for making my dream come true. And on behalf of Ethel and myself, can I say the group of men that we were at, they looked after us extremely well, and they are gentlemen, and I am so proud and privileged to be a part and know that my grandfather came from the Inch, Termillan and Ballygall. And I would like, on behalf of Ethel and myself, to give a small donation to the Inch Band and also to the Lodge, just as appreciation of how thankful I am for making my dream come true. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That lady had 17 grown men in tears through her cross several times. Those of you who follow the band will have noticed the marked increase in numbers over the last years. This has been mentioned to us many times. There has been an incredible increase in membership and young members of the band. We currently have 42 members on the books who are expressing interest in joining. This is down to the never-ending work that goes on behind the scenes by a small group of people, combined with the dedication and the commitment of the members themselves. And they are dead forward for it. In closing, I would like to appeal to young people to join your local band. As David said all night, not just any band, your local Inch band. I would also like to appeal to parents to encourage them to join and show interest, because it will give them so much. It gets them out of the house, keeps them off the street corners. It teaches them a skill, perhaps even a career. It teaches them discipline. They have pride in themselves, builds their confidence. They get to travel places like Dromore, Kilkeel, and of course they form friendships. In essence, they join a band. But importantly, they become custodians of a tradition and a culture that's been handed down from previous generations. We look after it and care for it and hopefully pass it on to the next generation. If we don't encourage them to do that, then our traditions and our culture will gradually fade away and be lost forever. like to thank everybody for listening. On behalf of the band, thank you all for your continued support. We hope you enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank Robert very much for that excellent overview, and also to Lorraine as well. It's just amazing to hear your story about your song as well. So thank you both for that. And it is just an amazing sort of timeline, and you listen to Robert, during the last 100 years, you see the timeline of events and how the band has kept going. It is a testimony to our culture and history, and as Robert said, our tradition. And it's a testimony to that strength of our community and keeping that going. So it's just, that's there for us all to enjoy, and let's keep it going, as Robert says, and support your local bands. And it's also just, it's very poignant for me as well. Robert mentioned earlier how the band was formed, and it's just thinking there from my great grandfather, Alan Burr. Just thinking over he composed in the Inch Lodge, in the Orange Hall that night 100 years ago, and then with the other gentlemen formed the band. I'm sure they didn't think 100 years later we'd be up here in the Great Hall, in Parliament Buildings, celebrating 100 years. So it's an amazing history, and definitely one to be celebrated tonight. So we're going to move on in our schedule tonight. I'm going to ask the band again to come up and play their second set of tunes. So if you'd like to make your way to the front, please.
Just before we do that, we also set some drums on this and these which we didn't really talk about. This is from the band in 1923. I believe it's actually the day before that, when the band says prior to that year. Remember sure. The small one was the band when we started in 1923, a small gold drum about maybe at age 6. In 1936, we brought 4 bass and 79 drum, and that drum was played in the band up to the 1970s, probably dinner. And the third was presented to the band by Hannah and Trevor, parade on the 16th of June, and that's the flute was owned by Alex Burr back in 1923 when they started the band. We're really proud to have that. Thank you.
this stage, I just want to do a couple of presentations on behalf of the Democratic Unionist Party. The first one I'd like to do is on behalf of our strength MP, Jim Shannon. Now, Jim sends his apologies tonight. He can't be with us tonight. He works in London there at Westminster, so unfortunately Jim couldn't be with us. But some of you may know last month I was telling Jim about the plans for the 100th anniversary. So he very kindly suggested an early day motion in the House of Commons in Westminster. So Jim put forth the early morning motion, and he very kindly has got it sent over and framed. Just before it presented to the Master David, I just want to read it out so just so you know what it actually says. So it says here, House of Commons, London, hence flute band, 100th anniversary commemoration. That this House commemorates the 100th anniversary of Inch Flute Band, highlights that the musical tradition in the parish of Inch dates as far back as the late 1800s, notes that archaic material recorded Inch Flute Band and the Maxwell Conservative Flute Band, gracing the King's Highway in 1902. Further notes that although always known as the Inch Flute Band, the original bass drum carries the name Inch Conservative Flute Band, and the Royal Coat of Arms further highlights the rich history of the band, attending its first 12th of July parade in 1924 in Ballygowan, when the band's uniform consisted of a Sunday best suit and obligatory cloth cap, and wishes Inch Flute Band every success as it maintains its tradition and culture in a respectful and enjoyable fashion. And that early day motion is signed by Jim Shannon MP for Strangford, Gavin Robinson MP Belfast East, Sir Geoffrey Donaldson MP Lagan Valley, Mr Gregory Campbell, MP East Londonderry, Patrick Grady, MP Glasgow North, Paul Gervin, MP Southampton, and Sir Mike Penning, MP Hemel Hampstead. So just like to call on Master David now, just to present that please. Our second presentation is on behalf of the South Down DEP, led by our MLA, Diane Forsythe, and it's good to have her here tonight, obviously, and also Councillor Alan Lewis from our state group DA as well, so it's good to see Alan here. So just between the three of us, we'd just like to present public guest ceremony. So just before we play the next song, I want to call on the band chairperson, John Lewis. I'm going to say a few words, please.
As chairman of the band, I would like to thank everyone for making the effort to come and join us in Stormont tonight to celebrate our centenary year. I would like to thank MLA Diane Forsythe for making this event possible to mark our anniversary in this historic building. Councillor John Jackson for comparing this event tonight and also teaching us, reaching out to our band to offer help and support in any way he can do so. Thank you. Thank you, Ian Rozier, for also coming along tonight and giving us a word regarding the Ulster Scouts Agency. Thanks goes to Katie McGraw for stepping up at the last minute and the pitch for us tonight. Thanks also goes to Robert Denman for giving us a brief history of his starting out of information of Inch Plan and bringing us details up to this modern day. I would also like to congratulate all the members of the Inch Plan that show up as much as 2 to 3 times a week to practice, take part in parades and take part in other band events and activities. There's great commitment within the band, and each of us want to see the band grow from strength to strength. So there's always an opening for any work on members that want to come and join. On closing, I would like the staff of Stormont here tonight that has helped facilitate this event. Thanks also to Neil and Elaine Glass from On March Images, so you can see them. They're floating about here tonight recording, and they're hopefully going to take a few pictures after. Again, I'd like to thank the general public and supporters of the band that are here tonight to celebrate and enjoy this Civic reception with us. And I would also just, when I'm up here, I would like to plug a wee event. So the band's having a 100th anniversary dinner. We're holding it on the 10th of February 2024. So everyone, there's tickets and sale pretty soon, so we get to see you all there too. So thank you very much. I think we're just going to end with the national anthem. So if everybody would like to be upstanding.